Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is enjoying their day. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. My 600 pounds life, does Jeanne call Dr. Now stupid? TLC releases a trailer ahead of tomorrow night's April 28th episode of My 600 Pounds Life. Where are they now? Viewers get to catch up with Jeanne Covey. Fans may remember her from TLC's hit weight loss show in Season 7, Episode 11. At one point after the show, Jeanne claims that she lost 230 pounds. Keep reading to find out what Jeanne is up to these days. My 600 pounds life doctor now compromises with a patient. At the beginning of the trailer, Jeanne explains that according to Dr. Now, she should have lost 160 pounds between visits. However, Jeanne is sure she hasn't lost that much. Consequently, Dr. Now shows grace and says that an 80-pound weight loss will suffice. Unfortunately, things don't look good for Jeanne's visit this time. Jeanne explains that she needs to be around 520 pounds to qualify for weight loss surgery. Next, the scale finally stops at 551 pounds. Jeanne has a noticeable look of disappointment on her face when she sees the number. So, she only lost 57 pounds. Even Jeanne says, that's not good enough. Despite not losing the desired amount of weight, Jeanne is adamant that she is ready to take the next step. According to her, she's done really well on the diet. She bases her success on the fact that she's never lost this much weight. She even says, it would be stupid to not allow me to have the surgery. Jeanne falls short on weight loss goals. Within seconds of beginning his appointment with Jeanne, Dr. Now explains that he's sorry that she is dealing with the death of her father. However, according to the world-renowned weight loss doctor, she still should focus on her health. Ultimately, Dr. Now rehashes that Jeanne had 4 months to lose 160 pounds. He calls her out for making excuses, and during this time, Jeanne is becoming increasingly upset. Next, Jeanne gives her rebuttal. She claims that she understands where Dr. Now is coming from. She even tries to blame the overconsumption of orange juice and pineapples by claiming she was sick and craving those vitamins. Ultimately, Dr. Now explains that overeating is overeating. Where is she now? However, from the looks of a photo on her Facebook page, it seems like Jeanne may have made a breakthrough. She looks a lot slimmer in a selfie she took at church at the end of February. That same day, she shares a picture with a man in her life. She captions the photo explaining that she's winning at life. She lists the reasons as losing weight, my mom is doing well, and God has blessed me with an amazing man. Do you think Jeanne will take responsibility for her actions? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Come back to TV shows Ace for more My 600 Pounds life updates. Tune into TLC for new episodes. When Jeanne Covey appeared on My 600 Pounds Life, fans were immediately intrigued by her unique personality, heartbreaking story, and unpredictable interactions with the show's iconic doctor, Dr. Jeanne, better known as Dr. Now. Her episode was filled with emotional highs and lows, shocking revelations, and tense moments that left viewers wondering if Jeanne's journey would ever lead to the transformation she hoped for. However, one of the most unforgettable and controversial moments in her story came when she seemingly insulted Dr. Now, sparking a storm of reactions online. Did Jeanne really call Dr. Now stupid? The truth behind that scene, and the woman behind the outburst, reveals much more than just a single heated exchange. It exposes the pain, frustration, and emotional exhaustion of a woman struggling against both her past and her present. When Jeanne's episode aired during Season 7 of My 600 Pounds Life, she weighed approximately 700 pounds. Her situation was dire. She lived in Texas with her parents, who become her full-time caregivers. The emotional atmosphere in the Covey household was heavy, filled with codependency, grief, and unresolved trauma. From the very beginning, Jeanne made it clear that her weight wasn't just a physical problem. It was the result of years of emotional pain and mental health struggles. Her family dynamic made everything more complicated. Unlike many patients who came to Houston determined to follow Dr. Now's program, Jeanne seemed emotionally stuck before she even began. Dr. Now's approach is well known to fans of the show, blunt, straightforward, and demanding accountability. He doesn't sugarcoat his words, and that's part of why he's helped so many people succeed. But for someone like Jeanne, who is already emotionally fragile, his no-nonsense demeanor seemed to trigger defensiveness rather than motivation. When she met Dr. Now for the first time, he reviewed her medical situation and quickly pointed out the severity of her condition. He explained the strict diet plan she would need to follow, his expectations, and the steps required for her to qualify for weight loss surgery. Jeanne, however, seemed resistant from the beginning. Throughout her episode, viewers saw her struggle not only with food but with depression, anxiety, and a sense of hopelessness. Her home environment didn't help. Her father was overprotective, and her mother's health was also failing. The emotional burden Jeanne carried was immense. At times, she seemed overwhelmed by the idea of change, finding comfort only in the familiar habits that had been slowly destroying her body. When Dr. Now pushed her to take responsibility for her own progress, Jeanne's frustration boiled over. That's when one of the most talked about scenes occurred. During a tense moment in Dr. Now's office, Jeanne became irritated with his straightforward critique. She appeared to interpret his comments as judgment rather than medical concern. When he told her she needed to make serious changes and stop making excuses, Jeanne muttered something under her breath that sounded like an insult. Many fans watching believe she called Dr. Now stupid, a shocking and rare reaction, given his respected status on the show. The moment instantly went viral among my 600 pounds life fans. Social media exploded with discussions about Jeanne's behavior. Some viewers criticized her for being disrespectful to the doctor who was trying to save her life, while others expressed sympathy, saying that her anger was really a reflection of her pain and fear. Dr. Now, for his part, didn't seem rattled. As always, he stayed calm, professional, and focused on the bigger picture, Jeanne's health. He reminded her that emotions couldn't stand in the way of progress. If she wanted to live, she had to take control of her own choices. Whether Jeanne literally called Dr. Now stupid or simply made a frustrated remark that was misheard, the message behind that moment was clear. She was struggling to accept accountability. Dr. Now often tells patients that weight loss isn't just about food. It's about facing the emotional reasons behind overeating. For Jeanne, that emotional wall was immense. She wasn't ready to let go of the patterns that had defined her life for decades. Despite the rocky interactions, Dr. Now gave Jeanne several chances to follow the plan. He set realistic weight loss goals and scheduled check-ins to track her progress. But Jeanne's journey didn't go as expected. Her follow-up appointments were delayed due to her mother's declining health, and tragedy soon struck. During filming, Jeanne's mother passed away unexpectedly. The loss devastated Jeanne and threw her emotional state into chaos. She withdrew completely, refusing to continue with Dr. Now's program. The grief compounded her depression, making it nearly impossible for her to focus on weight loss. After her mother's death, Jeanne decided to quit My 600 Pounds Life. She told producers that she could no longer handle the emotional pressure of the show or the medical demands of Dr. Now's plan. It was one of the few times a patient walked away completely, ending her participation before reaching any major breakthrough. This decision divided fans even further. Some viewers were angry that she gave up after Dr. Now offered her help, while others defended her, pointing out that grief, mental illness, and trauma can make change nearly impossible. In the years after her episode aired, Jeanne remained a topic of interest among My 600 Pounds Life fans. Many wondered what happened to her, whether she managed to lose any weight, if she ever reconciled with Dr. Now, and how she was coping with life after the cameras stopped rolling. Jeanne eventually broke her silence online, revealing that she felt manipulated by the production process. She claimed that the show focused on her most dramatic moments and didn't fully represent her emotional struggles or the complexity of her home life. She also denied some of the more sensational interpretations of her interactions with Dr. Now, suggesting that editing had exaggerated certain scenes. Jeanne's comments reignited debates about the ethics of reality TV. My 600 Pounds Life has been both praised for its powerful storytelling and criticized for how it portrays participants at their most vulnerable. Jeanne argued that the experience left her feeling more exposed than helped, and that it took her years to emotionally recover from the scrutiny she faced after her episode aired. Her statements shed light on the darker side of fame, how being the focus of a popular reality show can sometimes deepen existing wounds rather than heal them. As for her health, Jeanne has kept much of her progress private, but occasional updates suggest she's working to live a quieter, more balanced life. Some fans have expressed concern, while others continue to support her, encouraging her to take one day at a time. Jeanne's journey, while incomplete in the traditional sense, remains a powerful reminder that recovery isn't always linear. Some people need more time to process the emotional pain behind their physical struggles. The Dr. Now incident has since become one of the most memorable moments in the show's history, not because of the insult itself, but because of what it revealed about the emotional toll of transformation. Dr. Now's tough love approach is highly effective for many, but it also highlights the difficult truth that not everyone is ready for the journey. Jeanne's frustration, whether she meant to insult him or not, reflected the internal war she was fighting, one between wanting to change and fearing what change meant. In later interviews, Dr. Now himself has often spoken about the emotional complexity of his patients. He understands that their anger is usually misdirected pain. When fans asked about difficult patients, he always emphasized that empathy is key. "You can't take it personally," he once said. "You have to understand that these people are suffering." That perspective explains why he remained composed even when Jeanne lashed out. He saw beyond the words to the brokenness underneath. For Jeanne, that moment of calling Dr. Now stupid, real or misinterpreted, became symbolic of her entire journey. It was raw, unfiltered, and deeply human. It showed the frustration of a woman who wanted help but didn't yet know how to accept it. It also exposed how trauma can create resistance, even in the face of life-saving opportunities. And while Jeanne didn't achieve the kind of transformation fans hoped for, her story still holds meaning. It serves as a reminder that healing is messy and that every person's path looks different. Years later, the discussion around Jeanne Covey continues. Some fans still wish she had stayed in Houston and given Dr. Now's program another chance. Others say that her decision to walk away was actually an act of self-preservation, that she needed to grieve and heal outside of the public eye. Either way, her time on My 600 Pounds Life left an undeniable impact. It forced audiences to confront uncomfortable questions about empathy, mental health, and the limits of reality TV intervention. As for Dr. Now, his legacy remains untouchable. His ability to stay calm, even when challenged, continues to earn him respect. Jeanne's case became one of the few times a patient openly clashed with him, and yet his reaction only reinforced why fans admire him. He stayed professional, compassionate, and focused on the goal, saving lives. So, did Jeanne really call Dr. Now stupid? The answer might never be completely clear, but what's undeniable is that the moment came from a place of emotional overload rather than genuine malice. It wasn't about disrespecting Dr. Now. It was about a woman pushed to her emotional limits, struggling to face the truth about herself and her situation. Today, Jeanne Covey remains one of the most unforgettable figures in My 600 Pounds Life history. Her story is a blend of heartbreak, resistance, and vulnerability. While she didn't reach the physical transformation many hoped for, her journey exposed the deeper layers of obesity, the trauma, the grief, and the fear that fuel it. And in doing so, she reminded viewers that sometimes the greatest battles are fought not in the body, but in the mind. Whether you see her as a misunderstood woman or a missed opportunity, Jeanne's story has undeniably left a mark. Her infamous outburst toward Dr. Now has become a moment of television history, but behind it was a real human being trying to find peace in a world that didn't always understand her pain. And while she may not have finished her My 600 Pounds Life journey in the traditional sense, she remains a powerful symbol of the ongoing fight to overcome life's heaviest burdens, emotional, physical, and spiritual alike.